What's up, cookies? Welcome back, and if you're new here, my name is Carolyn Gray and welcome to my channel. I typically cover all things fashion, and sometimes I show little tidbits of my life living in New York City as an entrepreneur. And today I'm actually going to be going through my makeup routine as I'm answering questions from my cookie community regarding my career path, how I style, different tidbits of living here in New York City, and just some personal questions too. So I hope y'all enjoy how I got to this result and the answers that I shared with y'all. I'll see y'all at the end. The first question, actually, let me just put on my primer, my Milk Hydro grip primer. Do like 2 little pumps of that. I'm gonna lay this on. So the first question is, what did I major in at FIT? So I went to Fashion Institute of Technology for college. I moved here when I was 17, going on 18, and I majored in merchandising management, which is basically the business side of fashion. But you know, I still had to study designers, the history of it, so I knew that it would go hand in hand with marketing product, developing product, selling it, etc. And I remember I had to focus on like 1 or 2 brands every semester. And my favorite class, mostly my favorite class, I had a few favorite classes honestly, was product development. And I was even able to draw and create a brand of my own, which I actually called Androgynous. It was really cute. So the next step I usually do is taking my By Ellie Brow Sculpt. This thing sold out a few times over from the UK, and this thing gets my eyebrows laid down. But the second question, oops, my document went up, is who are my top 5 designers? Number 1, Mr. Azzedine Alaïa. I loved how he sculpted for the woman's body, who his muses were, from Tina Turner to Naomi Campbell. He was just an amazing, impeccable designer, and I still love the direction of the brand even in his passing. Rick Owens. Love Rick and everything that he stands for. And even though a lot of times I feel like people are like, it's the same designs over and over, I'm like, yeah, that's his aesthetic. It's just his thing. I love his drapery. I love his sculpted body, composite, like everything. And I just like him as a person. I think he looks so cool. And then I love Dior in the Raf era, and Jean-Paul Gaultier era of Dior. I love Dries Van Noten, everything about it, the patterns, prints, how he mixes, the textures, everything. And Christopher John Rogers, which I actually recently got my first like design from him, and I am in love. I mean, listen, it's a pretty penny, and I waited for it to go on sale, and I'll show it soon in the haul. But yeah, love. And he as a person is a sweetheart. I met him a few times, and he was just so graceful and beautiful and just kind. So, you know, it means something to me when the designers are actually, you know, nice people and give their admirers a fair chance to have a conversation. And runner up is Rachel of Diotima. She was very kind to me, and I just kind of lay it down. I don't want to use the spoolie end of this brush because it's dirty. I need to clean it. No, I did not clean my stuff before I did this video. Don't judge me. Listen, I'm really bad with cleaning my makeup brushes. But this is the Makeup by Ellie comb. And the thing I will tell you, it's great. Just be careful of this side because I poked my finger one time and it made me bleed. Okay. Now, the third question and the third step of my routine is the Bobbi Brown color corrector in Deep Peach. But the third question is, what were your roles when you worked for Luxe brands, and was it hard to grow? I've done everything from sales, styling, management, sales lead, boutique opener, like within Saks. Like I've opened Max Mara Weekend for Saks Fifth Avenue. I've opened Sandro Maj for Saks Fifth Avenue and for Bloomingdale's. I worked for Sandro brand twice. And you know, I do think it was really hard. I mean, I was a paid intern at Elle Magazine one year. I was an assistant to studio services at Barney's New York under Laura Mannix, who was like basically the first person to kind of create studio services within the New York space for shows and stylists and artists and whatnot. And I had a great time working under her, and saw a lot of people, helped a lot of amazing people that I admire. And what else did I do? Oh my gosh. I worked in merchandising management for Saks Fifth Avenue. I was in the buying program, and it was hard to grow. I think at the time, I still was figuring out who I was in the beginning of my fashion career. I've been in fashion for almost, it will be really 20 years, on and off a little bit, but the thick of it was 15 years, and I took a little break, and I was in fitness wellness. I managed Equinox clubs, and I opened up private boutique gyms as well for like high-end citizens or whatever. But I did feel it was hard to grow. I didn't have a voice in it in the beginning. I felt very intimidated. I felt like I was more of a sponge, and even when I would come around to a learning curve of 6 months, I still felt a little defeated. I didn't have a lot of managers, and sometimes I didn't have managers that really wanted to uplift me. And I even had this one manager named Carrie. I will say people's names, who really did not want to promote me at Saks, but her boss, Steven, decided it was time for me to be promoted and open up the Max Mara Weekend Boutique. But she tried so hard to keep me in a space that I was not happy, and she knew I would excel in that management role, in that, you know, leadership role, but she really fought hard to keep me out of it. But Steven Durso, he was like, oh no, like that's your role, you know. So he believed in me, and he made it happen. And I know that she hated it every second of me being in that role, but it would be certain situations like that. And then I had mentors like Nadia Bradshaw, Jamila Davis, Star Daniel. These were women of color who made sure that I had a proper idea of what it meant to be black and in fashion and taking up space. So in the beginning, I felt it was hard. And then once I kind of stepped out of the industry and went into wellness, I worked with a lot of jockey men. And I learned a lot about myself in that space, and standing up for myself and taking up space and putting my foot down when I believed in supporting my staff and being of service to my staff as well as the consumer. And going back into fashion now as a content creator, I have a lot more understanding of what my ideas are and how to express them and how to stand behind them and all those things, you know. So I didn't have the best time in the beginning in the fashion space until after I had experience in the fitness and wellness space. But everything happens for a reason and on God's time. Let me just put a little lip balm on. The next question is, how long have I been in fashion? What is my ultimate goal in the fashion world? So I worked in fashion from like 2006 to 2015. And I took a little break from 2019, to 2020. And when I was in fashion, my goal was to, what I thought, to be in the glitz and glamour of it all. Givenchy, Prisme, Libre, Skin Care and Concealer in color and 345 and 345. And, you know, I saw myself as like, I don't know, Devil Wears Prada, a magazine editor, but also a consultant. Like, I wanted to do all the things. And when I started FIT, you know, one piece of advice from our merchandising manager, like the division lead, she was like, get as much work experience as you can. Like, schooling can do so much, but you need to get out in the nitty gritty. So I've done everything that I could, even like working behind the scenes at Fashion Week. You know, I was in the depths of all of it, you know. And I just wanted to be successful, whatever that looked like. And to be honest, I thought I was going to end up being a merchandiser because that was my major. But then as I was in the space, in the field, trying different things, I realized that there were so many different avenues, and it was a little overwhelming. But overall, my end goal is to make people feel more confident in finding their personal style and utilizing it and maximizing their closets. And I do want to do TV, entertainment, because truth be told, I've done comedy, stand-up, I've done acting, all in the midst of me being in New York. So I want to put all that together, and I want to make people feel confident in their voice, because I know what it feels like to not feel confident and to be silenced and to silence myself. So that's not a good feeling, and I want people to break out of that shell so deeply. So I want to do that through the vein of content creation. I want to do it through the vein of entertainment. I want to do it through the vein of helping people one-on-one. I want to do it through the vein of my wellness brand. There's so many different avenues that I'm not limiting myself to like show through, but I want to be successful. I do want to be wealthy so I can help support my family and give back to people, but also live a nice life. Listen, I'm not ashamed to say I want a nice life, and I want to be able to just help people grow, whatever that looks like. And I feel that the evolution of time and in the times that we're in, I'm not going to limit what that end goal looks like, because it's a continuous evolution growing game. So I just want to be involved in the fashions and the arts and the inspirations and dealing and connecting with people. Someone asked that they basically applied to Saks to work there, and if I have any tips. My answer to that is, child, I don't really have good contacts in that same way anymore. Like, I still know a few people, but even the contacts that they gave me to respond to content creation for Saks Fifth Avenue or Saks off Fifth, child, I ain't hear back from them either. So when you find out, can you let me know? Because I'm trying to hear back from them too. I'm just saying, I don't know. Honestly, reapply. And how I got some of my jobs, like my first job was at Barney's, and I got a security position. So I was in the fitting room spying on people, you know, making sure people weren't stealing. And then I found a way to talk to the studio service department lead, Laura Mannix, who was like holy grail, that I wanted to work for her. She had any positions for me, and she was like, you know, I noticed that you work for security, but you don't dress like the rest of them. You know, I noticed you do have a fashion sense to you. And she took me in, and that was because like I went to her door and I said, hey, can I come in? And if I were you, if you really wanted to work at Saks, I mean, some people might consider this to be a little creepy, but it's in the establishment. So I would just go to the store, ask where the HR department is, and speak to someone and tell them that you applied and you were wondering if there were any positions, any open positions that you could be considered for and interview for, and be brave about it. Demand for what you want. I've always gotten jobs by just simply going up to a person and being like, my name's Carolyn Gray, and I would love to learn a way to get into this space and learn and also be an asset to this space. So you have to be courageous. Go in the store and tell them that you signed up, that you applied. So they could be like, well, let's get you on the calendar for an interview. Or also seasonal positions will open up soon. So keep that in mind. But if y'all got any contacts at Saks Fifth Avenue, because the lady not answering me, and I don't want to be a bother, you know what I mean? But I've lived, breathed, and slept in Saks Fifth Avenue. My hands have put together that store in different ways. Like, I don't see why I shouldn't be working with them as a content creator. We're like a great fit. We're married. And like, whoever's on the content side, the social media, they don't know. They don't know, and I just need them to know. Anyway, moving on. What made me become an entrepreneur, and how did I get started? So I was let go, but before I was let go from my last, I would say, corporate position in wellness, I had learned about CBD through the, I don't even know what step we're on. So this is the Dark Contour Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick from Makeup by Mario. And I'm just going to put it in the places I typically contour slightly. So I learned about CBD through the clients at the boutique gym that I helped structure and open. And they showed me like how they do CBD and how it's non-psychoactive. And I was really intrigued by it, but also I was like, the stuff that y'all use and buy looks ugly. Like, it doesn't look luxe. So, you know, I started to make the product. I inquired about it. Carlos helped me get a contact to create products using CBD. And at first I was making gourmet treats, and then it turned into like topical treatment. And I used the trainers at that facility to like try out the stuff I was making and tell me if they liked it or not. And it worked really well. And I think honestly, I won't get into like what happened at my last job, but I do think that they used me to build up their infrastructure because, you know, I do what I do and I do it best, okay? So they hired me and fired me once they got everything in place and was up and running and all the things. And also I wasn't a yes man. Like, you know, they wanted to do a lot of things that were not legal and safe in a gym space in New York City, which I was an expert at because of my time at Equinox. And, you know, I felt like when they found out I was doing what I was doing on the side, because I was planning on staying in that role and still creating my own business. Like, I was like, get the money any way you can. And, you know, as me not telling them yes all the time and going with everything, like with a smile on my face, I was giving them boundaries. I think that they, you know, and then also I wasn't a young white man. I didn't fit the bill aesthetically. I fit the bill to get them the dollars, but not aesthetically. And, you know, because of the way I was let go, I reached a settlement with them. So I took some of that money and I started to really go in on my business. And the reality is too, Carlos is an entrepreneur, and watching him and having him as guidance also helped me. It's very scary being an entrepreneur. Like, even still, you know, money and all those things, it could be really inconsistent one week and then flowing like shit the following, you know. So it comes with a lot of ups and downs. But you know, and my friends and family learned quick that I was serious and that they knew I had a product that worked, and they were in full support. Word of mouth really like exposed Noir Bud to a T. Like, it, I could not thank my friends and family enough. They really did believe me, and I didn't have to go through like, well, damn, people don't, you know, they're not trying to help me, they don't believe in me. I didn't go through that, thank God. My friends and family knew, oh, she's doing something, and this is what she, okay, we're gonna support it. Like, and it works, yes ma'am, give me that. So that's kind of how, you know, the entrepreneur thing happened. You know, it was by chance, but also I was flowing in that direction anyway. And then other question was, when did I start Noir Bud and what made me get into that line of business? So the next thing, Makeup by Mario Color 18W Foundation is my next step. Just very little, and I'm actually going to use a lighter brush to flow over my face. So I started testing making products in 2018. And it was really, I didn't see a lot of black people creating CBD product. And that irked me. And I was just like, well, I feel that I have a great idea for a Luxe product. I've always worked in the luxury sector of any industry I've been a part of. And I think that I know how to package something like this and what people are needing as far as, you know, pain or anxiety. And I knew that I would be a user of it too, because I'm not a drinker. I don't smoke weed or cigarettes, and I don't really have a vice besides shopping. So I knew that if this was something that was non-psychoactive and safe to use and medicinal and herbal, like, why not make something that I myself can use and be, you know, I would be a testament to it. So, you know, I knew that there was a void in the market for people that looked like me, and also in the aesthetic of the product packaging too. I was like, oh, I can go in on this and it's going to do really well. So, you know, I learned as much as I could about it, and I just went crazy. I went crazy with marketing it, I did all the photography, all the marketing, everything. Once you become an entrepreneur, you realize you are the developer, the designer, the makeup artist, the photographer, the CEO, the shipment department, you know, the troubleshoot department. You're making your own website. You're doing all the things. So I learned very quickly from 2018 to 2019 and time for 2020 where people are locked down and anxiety ridden. My business really boomed at that time. A lot of businesses boomed at that time, but I felt that people realized that they can use CBD even more so during the lockdowns of 2020. And even I was on Beyonce's parade. I was in so many different magazines mentioned. And the funny thing is, when I was working for the last gym boutique, you know, they had a lot of different social media outlets and newspapers and magazines come in and interview the owner about why the space came to be and how it's ran. And they never included me in the conversation, even though I helped create the infrastructure. And the same brands, the same, hey babe, the same companies that came and interviewed that company I worked for interviewed Noir Bud too. So it was a really cool, like, story of growth. And you know, the way that things ended there, it was like, haha, I did good. I didn't need y'all anyway, right? So that was a great experience. But yeah, but like I said, you become your own everything. So I'm going in with the Jones Road powder. This is a tinted face powder in the color light. I use 2 different colors really. So I'm using light to go underneath my eyes just to set that in. So even being your own photographer, that was a thing. And it's funny because the next question is, someone asked me, do I know any street style photographers in New York? I do. Shatima, I just met Tone, Cassie Thorpe's photographer, and my guy Shamel Mason. He's a videographer and a photographer. So yes, I do know a few. So reach out to them if you are interested in their services. And my piece of advice when working with photographers or other creators of any kind, make sure you have your plan of what you want to accomplish in your photo shoots. Come prepared, have your things ready, your clothes ready, know where you're shooting, know your shooting locations, and understand the story that you want to tell. And relax. Let them help you out with posing and doing the things, but you need to come correct with the story, with the vision, and the idea. Sorry if y'all hear the shower. He's in the shower. But yeah, so yes, I do know quite a few creators. And Troy Madison, but he's not New York based anymore, but he will come to New York. Anywho, can anyone afford my services? Yes, anyone could afford my services. Listen, I am very easy to work with. I have several different packages available. Wait, what's my next step? Blush. I'm doing blush. I'm doing NARS, Orgasm. I done broke the top, y'all, so I have to hold it real tight. Anyone can afford my services. Yes, I do things, you know, my main thing though, I like to do wardrobe edits with people. And that package, you know, you can do the 3-hour, you know, up to 3 hours, and then anything over is $125 an hour. But I like to see what's in your closet before I start telling you what to buy and shop, because you need to maximize what you have. So the important thing is, yes, people can afford, they can work with me. There's a form that I'll link below that you can basically put your inquiry in with. And yes, anyone, y'all. Unless you like really, listen, if the energy is off, if you're rude, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. Y'all gotta be nice to people who give services. You know what I'm saying? We are human too. We're not robots, you know. But I work really well with people one-on-one. I love helping people realize what they have in their closet and how they're not using it and how they can use it. I love having those types of conversations. So yes, if you're interested in working with me as a personal styling client, as a person that needs help with their content media, social media and direction, or if you need help with a photo shoot or creative concept, yes, you can work with me. Just hit me up, hit the form, or email me any questions you have. Another question was, how do you manage balance and find the time for all that you do? Do you have a team, or do you like doing it solo? I mean, I enjoy doing some things solo, but honestly, I would prefer to have a team. At the time, I can't afford it. Right now, I can't afford it, but that's fine. In the next 6 months to a year, I do foresee myself having an assistant. And, oh, this is Ami Collet, the eyeshadow, Lid Joy Liquid. And yeah, I mean, honestly, the only team that I have right now are, you know, is my videographer, Shamel. And we work on a lot of like creative concepts with each other. And then, you know, Troy Madison. But as far as like helping with logistics and stuff like that, I wish I had that help. But I don't manage balance pretty well. I feel like I'll have a good schedule going for like 2 months, and then more opportunities will hit my plate, and then I have like burnout, and then I recalibrate and make a good schedule for the next 2 months. So it's like a cycle of like recalibrating all the time. So right now I'm not managing the balance well, but I am open to the opportunities and learning different things. And anytime I can like fix how I handle my schedule and stuff like that, I do make the adjustment. Do you think you would ever move outside of NYC? 2 people asked me this. Once upon a time, I actually was thinking about moving to London. I had visited there to scout jobs in 2017, and then I met Carlos, who's in the shower making noise. And that's when I realized that London was not in the books for me at that time, and I decided to stay and we make a life together, and I'm very appreciative. But yeah, I had considered living there. Oh, this is the House Labs Sunstone highlight, but I did think about it. I did think about living abroad. The only other place I would like retire to is either London or like Switzerland or something, because like if Tina Turner did it, obviously there's something good about over there, you know. I'm intrigued. I would definitely live outside this country. It's ra-ta-ta-ta outside. I would, and plus I grew up part-time in Aruba. My mom's family is from there, as well as Dominica. Like they're from Dominica, and she was raised in Aruba. And knowing what life looks like outside of this country, I love it. I wouldn't live or retire in Aruba. It's too small. I would get bored within a second. Like, I can't be there for more than 2 weeks because I'm like, ain't nothing else to do. We done seen everybody, done everything. We done to the root of the island. Okay. So, the next question is, how do you decide what trendy pieces to buy, invest? Do you set a budget? Would love to know your process. I don't, listen, right now, I would be lying if I said I have a budget. The budget just be, I do what I want, and it's dangerous, okay? So don't be like me. But when I have my shit together a little bit better, I would only buy things if I could buy it 4 times over. So that was one thing. The other thing that I do when I'm buying is with clothing, shoes, I have to see 7 outfits in my head with that one item. Otherwise, how is it going to work with the rest of my wardrobe? There's no point of it being in my wardrobe if I can only see it one way, if it's a limited style. What else? But yeah, and it's not about trendy pieces. It's just about pieces that speak to my spirit, what is my personal style, and how I go about wearing my clothes. That's how I kind of make decisions on what to buy. Yeah, sure, if something is trending and it's all like, I'm not a big colored person, so I feel like I need to blend more, but I do like certain colors. I love redding. Y'all heard me talk about reds and olives and stuff like that. So I don't have a lot of red pieces. I have a lot more green. But in this season, red is a trending color, so it gives me more opportunity to purchase it and keep it over time. I'm more of a hoarder. I don't get rid of stuff at the end of every season and get the use out of the trending item. Like if I'm buying anything, trending or not, it's because it speaks to me. So I don't really buy into trends. If something is something I like is available and is trending for that season, then that's the situation. But I definitely should have more of a budget. But what I used to do was, if I can't afford it 4 times over, like buy it 4 times on the spot, then I shouldn't be buying it. And then, yeah, that's how I think about things. But recklessly been doing Klarna. I don't care. Y'all gonna know who I am. You're part of my family. It's Cookie Squad, okay? Sometimes I'll be doing Klarna and I don't care. I actually, my balance for Klarna is 0. That means I can shop again. No, I'm not shopping for October. Anyway, the next question and the next step, I'm going in with the Anastasia Brow Wiz in dark brown. Advice for anyone that wants to be more fashionable and stay ahead of the trends. Book me for my services so we can dial into what your personal style is. And I'm dead serious. You have to really figure out what your style is. I have a mirror here and it's like an open fold. You have to really figure out what your personal style is and what you have in your wardrobe, and really go from there. You know, I feel like you don't want to stay ahead of the trends. You want to stay ahead of what your personal style is and really truly understand it. What are 3 to 5 different things that really make your heart tick? Like, is it classic silhouettes? Is it sequins? Is it a certain color? Is it pattern mixing? You know, and I feel that once you realize what you really connect to, no matter what the trends are, that's the most important thing. You shouldn't worry yourself about, I need a different mirror. You shouldn't worry yourself about staying ahead of trends. I think if you stay ahead of yourself and what your brand is, what your personal brand is, and shopping for that. And the only way I would say staying ahead of anything, like I typically shop heavy in August when fall collections hit the floors. And I typically shop in March and April when spring summer collections hit the stores. Sometimes I would love to wait for sale, but the way the consumerism is set up, things be selling out so fast, and I don't like experiencing that loss. Especially from runway season, I have my eye on it. No. So that's the only thing I can say about staying ahead of anything, is shopping in the correct months to get the things that you want as soon as they hit the stores. And looking at fashion runways to get an understanding of what you want to get your pockets ready for that upcoming season. Someone asked, how do I go about purging and how often? I probably purge my closet like 4 times a year. Because I do realize, listen, we're all human. Sometimes we impulse shop, and impulse shop for things that, you know, we don't really think through, or sometimes from years ago. I mean, I've been in fashion for how long, right? So I've been collecting fashion for a very long time, and sometimes there are pieces I'm like, you know what, this was a great season and time in my life, but I really do not wear this, and I feel like someone else would really make great use out of this. And it still has great resale value at this point. So I do go through my closet 4 times a year, and just to make sure that I am seeing what's in there and using it to the best of its abilities. And that's why I even have like a quarterly package with my services, so we can just make sure that people aren't overbuying or bringing things into their home that they have not been using. And you know, just, you don't want to have clutter and feel cluttered minded when you're going into your closet, because you're like, what am I going to wear? It shouldn't feel like a task or a job to get dressed. It should feel easy. It should feel fun. It should feel directed, you know, so like you have good direction sense in there. It should not feel overwhelming and going and grabbing the same things over and over. Like, it's good to have a certain aesthetic and uniform to a degree, but like you don't want to keep pulling the same things unless you're working with a capsule wardrobe that's very like 30 pieces, right? So yeah, 4 times a year I purge. And someone asked, newly retired from Baltimore and wants to maintain a classic and less luxe wardrobe now that she's living on a retiree's budget. Honestly, sales shop. You can see I take a long time with my eyebrows. Sales shop. You know, keep your eye open for those amazing vintage stores. Keep your eye out for some closet sales and like Poshmark sales, you know, outlet shop, things of that nature. And really read into the materials composition of every product that you're buying. You know, you want to buy items that are natural fibers so they last over time, you know, and they wear well and wash well. So I feel like, and even with high street brands like Mango or H&M, Zara, you know, taking it easy, because they are still considered a little bit like fast fashion, but take your time shopping through those brands and really, you know, hone in on what your style is, so you're not just buying aimlessly, you know, because it can be really easy to just impulse shop with brands like Zara, because they've been spitting hot fire for the last several seasons. It's like every time I go in there I get something, you know. So you want to take it easy by just understanding what your personal style is, but shopping with brands that have really great quality at a really great price point. Mango, I really feel, has great quality season after season, and their price points are amazing, and their sales are really good too. So I would just say understanding what that classic style means to you and shopping for that with intention, and budget shop, like sales shop, outlet shop, all the things, and just make sure that you know the type of item that you're buying, as far as the quality of the fabrication. But yes, definitely keep it that way. And then someone from the Netherlands hit me up and said Nike Air Max 1 sneakers, basically she needs ways to style it for work and stuff. Air Force Ones are very good to have. I feel like Air Force Ones or any type of sneaker, this is Giorgio Armani, I keep forgetting to tell y'all stuff, the Eyes to Kill in color 1 black. With sneakers, you have to try things on, and I feel like sometimes when we're putting sneakers on, we feel like it has to be a sporty look. But in this day and age, if you can wear an outfit that is totally unexpected to be worn with a pair of sneakers, that's the outfit. Try to do something super unexpected with the sneaker and roll with that. You can do dressy, you can do classic, you could do patterns and prints. My only thing is with white sneakers in general, you know, maintain the cleanliness of it and the laces, and that will keep you going. But I also would say, like, I would encourage you to have fun with some colorful sneakers too, because I feel like over time you don't have to worry about like it being dingy looking. Like sometimes they get better with dinginess, whereas Air Force Ones are a little bit harder to maintain over time, and they crease really easy, and it can actually cheapen a look. So you want to be careful about the aging of that Air Force One sneaker, and maybe want to invest in a sneaker with a suede material and in colors, because you can have a lot more fun with that. But I still love me an Air Force One. I just feel like it has a time limit on it. It can age really quickly. But yeah, and I feel like I had one more question pop up, and I want to make sure I get to that. Let me see. Oh, there were two more questions actually. How do you create / curate your jewelry stack and accessories as a whole? To be honest, I feel like you cannot create a jewelry stack overnight. It's a story, it's timing. Like, I feel like my family, they gift each other pieces of gold. Like, since we were kids, we always got like little gold necklaces and earrings and stuff like that. And then when, you know, people pass away, like my grandmother passed away, I inherited this really beautiful ring of hers. And, you know, there's a story to tell with every piece of jewelry that I have. A different time frame in my life, a different experience, a breakup, or you know, I graduated or whatever. And I feel like jewelry is something that is a personal, slow development. Now, obviously, I have my favorite brands, and even like adding the Tiffany's cuff to my collection. Like that's something that I had been coveting for a very long time. And you know, it has a major story attached to it and an experience now. But I feel like, figure out if you're a gold or silver person or mixed metal. I'm mixed metal. I love mixing both of them at the same time. There are moments when I want to be very dramatic, so I go for like my Dylan Luxe collections. But then I also have brands like Aziza Handcrafted and Wahadan, and those pieces are very intricate. So I feel like jewelry is very personal. Some people may not like the stuff that I wear because it's a bit too, it might be slightly gothic to them or a little creepy. Whereas I don't really like perfect things. Like I don't like perfect round pearls. I need odd, like the real pearl, like as it comes out, you know, that type of thing. So jewelry is something that you build over time and is very personal to you and your story. And you can't rush it either. You cannot rush it because you might go broke unless you got the money for it, right? But that's something that happens over time and whatever speaks to you. Someone else asked, in curating a staple wardrobe, what do you consider as timeless essential pieces? Okay. Essential pieces. Essential pieces. Sir, I wish I knew you were taking a shower. It's in the feedback. Say hello at least.
What, you heard the water?
Yes, say hello.
Hello?
We know that you were super clean because you were in there for a minute. You were praying.
You know I was.
He likes to pray in the shower.
I need a clean soul like I need a clean body.
I hear that. Now please, don't be, can you close this door if you're going to be sloshing around back and forth with your slides? Please, please help me. Please. I'm almost done with this video.
Taking my slides off.
It's a long video, huh?
Taking my slides off.
Please. Anyway, last question. Essentials for a closet. So and this is the other powder from Jones Road. I think this is the color medium. I believe blazers are top notch. Like, it's up there. Those are really important to me. Crew neck t-shirts, a nice pair of jeans that aren't distressed, that fit you really well, that's a perfect in between of a skinny and a straight leg, and a good boot, whether it's ankle or knee high or combat boot. I'm gonna do a video about this, but yeah, blazers, a nice crew neck t-shirt, a good button down shirt, a gray pair of slacks, jeans, a good boot, a good loafer or flat. I prefer a loafer. And then a really strong handbag with great leather material. There he go again with the water. Did you close the door? My goodness. Listen, man, you are not alone. You know, sometimes I don't like filming when he's home, and this is why. Anyway, I know y'all laughing. I know y'all like, don't laugh at him. He's misbehaving. He's not helping me. And now the final step. And then we're going to Instagram headquarters today, Meta headquarters today for a creator summit. So that's why I'm actually doing my makeup like this today. Let me just pull this out. This is actually the mirror that I use. Like so. My final step is the One Size Preserve the Serve. I use this throughout Fashion Week when it was hot boots outside and my makeup stayed together. And then I have an Ami Collet lip gloss that I'm actually applying as well, but it's in my purse. So I hope y'all enjoyed this Q&A. You know, I feel like at this point people are asking me like, what do you do? Like, what, you know, where'd you come from? All the things. And oh, I forgot to say, I am from Baltimore. I've been here since I was 17, going on 18. I'm 35. I own Noir Bud CBD business. I'm a content creator. I'm also a business owner of styling services, creative services, and yeah. Those are the things. But I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I look forward to doing another video like this where we get to know, well, y'all get to know me a bit more. But y'all, when y'all ask questions, I learn more about you too. So this is good for the cookie squad. And I really appreciate y'all time and that you made it through to the end of this video. And I hope y'all have an amazing day. I'll show y'all my outfit for the Creator Summit too. I might do a little weekly vlog because I have a lot of stuff going on at the end of this week into next week. So I might as well vlog it, right? All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Bye, cookies. Okay. This is my fit for the Instagram Creator Summit. I was invited by the Notorious Kia. Gap button down, jeans from Silver Lake denim, Margiela boots, oh, in the bag, and a very full Balenciaga city bag because my computer's in there. I might be able to edit some stuff and run to the office before coming home after the summit. I'm excited. I don't know who I'm gonna meet, see, or hear, but I'm excited to be in the Meta office. And yes, I feel very lucky that Kia decided to send me an extension of the invite, so I'm excited. Okay, I'll show y'all too. We're gonna do a vlog this week because we got stuff to do tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. And then we're gonna rest on Sunday. I'll see y'all there.